Welcome to episode 29 of the 5-Minute Investor Podcast, where Stockhouse columnists Jon Brown and me, Trevor Abes, each deliver a 2.5-minute stock profile related to recent news stories with investment implications. This week, we're talking about companies specializing in green construction and infrastructure, whose operations offer investors untapped upside when it comes to expediting the energy transition. Jon, which company's commitment to sustainability earned your spotlight?
Trevor, meet Bird Construction, a century-old company that's now at the forefront of Canada's sustainable development push. TSX BDT, market cap $1.5 billion Canadian dollars. With over 650 million Canadian in new contracts, Bird is building everything from military housing and long-term care facilities to nuclear infrastructure and clean energy projects. Let's break it down. In Ontario, Bird is constructing 200 new homes for Canadian Armed Forces members. In Alberta, they're part of Dow's Path to Zero program, helping build the world's first net zero ethylene cracker. In British Columbia, they're developing a 234-bed care facility using mass timber and energy-efficient systems. And in Ontario's nuclear sector, Bird is supporting refurbishment efforts through Indigenous-led joint ventures. But Bird isn't just building, it's building green. Their Build Green, Work Green, Live Green framework integrates LEED Passive House and zero carbon standards while promoting digital construction, employee well-building, and inclusive culture. And there's more. Bird is acquiring Fraser River Pile and Dredge for 82.3 million Canadian dollars, expanding into marine infrastructure and land foundation services. With Canada investing over 300 billion Canadian in public infrastructure and billions earmarked for green buildings, Bird Construction is positioned well for long-term growth. Other small-cap players like Aecon Group and Tornado Infrastructure are also benefiting, but Bird's diversified portfolio and ESG focus make it a standout. So if you're watching Canada's infrastructure renaissance, keep an eye on Bird Construction, TSX BDT. Its stock has risen more than 8.5% since the year began, and looking back since this time last year, is up almost 25%. Another exciting element to this story is renewable energy, and Trevor has a unique opportunity in this space to tell you about.
That's right, Jon. My green infrastructure stock to watch is Boralex, ticker BLX on the TSX. One of the most recognizable names in green energy production and infrastructure for more than 30 years, spanning wind, solar, and hydro. The company is currently France's largest independent producer of onshore wind power, complemented by established presences in Canada and the United States, plus numerous developments in the United Kingdom, collectively representing 195 projects to date. Over the past 5 years, Boralex has increased its installed energy capacity by more than 50% to 3.2 gigawatts, growing revenue from 619 million Canadian in 2020 to 817 million in 2024, while increasing EBITDA from 434 million to 581 million respectively, and generating positive net income over the period, averaging 43.2 million per year, demonstrating management's ability to grow in line with shareholder value. As per Boralex's Q2 2025 news release, management believes the company is on track to meet its goals for 2030, which include achieving a compound annual growth rate of operating income between 12 to 14% and a consolidated adjusted EBITDA CAGR between 7 to 9% over the period, as well as doubling installed capacity every 5 years in line with net zero operations by 2050. Backstopped by $689 million in cash and financing capital as of June 30th, a proven project bidding strategy, and minimal reliance on debt and shareholder dilution, you couldn't be blamed for concluding that bigger and better things are in store for both Boralex's business and its investors as the green energy transition continues cutting into fossil fuel demand, whose expected peak is less than a decade away. The broader market, however, begs to differ, viewing the company's prospects with what seems to be unfounded pessimism, saddling investors in Boralex stock with a 22.47% loss since 2020, beckoning contrarians far and wide to step up to the plate. As always, you can find links to the articles from today's episode in the show notes, and you can find more investing insights on Stockhouse and the market online. The 5-Minute Investor is on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stockhouse, or wherever finer podcasts are found. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on Monday. This podcast has been prepared as part of a partnership with Bird Construction Inc. and Boralex Inc. and is intended for informational purposes only. For full disclaimer information, please visit themarketonline.ca/disclaimer.